Hello everyone! Welcome back to another 2v2 battle. This is going to be two Empire versus a Dwarf and a Bretonnian player. I'm playing with Surreal, who picked this map not knowing which one it was, so we kind of had the advantage here, which is why you can see that I'm starting to march off the hill. But our army here, let's go over that real quick. We have a front line of spearmen, we have 3 of them, 2 crossbows, 2 halberdiers, a cannon, an amber wizard, an imperial captain, a warrior priest on the barded steed. Emperor Karl Franz is over here on a barded steed as well, with 2 empire knights, a outrider, and then I also have a demigryph knight with halberds in the back. Surreal brought a line of halberdiers backed up by 2 amber wizards, which at this point they have both summoned their manticores. I've also summoned my manticore as well. He has Boris Toddbringer, which is a hero you unlock if you play the Kazarak campaign, and I think you have to beat it before you can get him. I don't have him yet. I'm not sure what his stats are, but there he is, Boris. There's also an imperial captain over here. We have 4? I think we have 4 demigryph knights with halberdiers over on the right flank, and then a cannon up here on the hill. The dwarven player has 2 cannons, an Iron Drake Trollhammer torpedo, 3 rifles, 4 long beards with great weapons, and then 2 hammers with a Unkram Iron Fist. All of this is anti-armor. Literally everything in their army is anti-armor, which is that's a lot of damage there. For the Bretonnian player, we have the King on the Hippogriff, 2 field trebuchets, 3 peasant bows, we have multiple men-at-arms, 2 Knights of the Realm, and then 2 Grail Knights in the back. So as you can tell, this battle has started a little bit later than the actual start. We have moved off the hill a little bit here because there wasn't really much going on other than an exchange of artillery fire between my cannons, the dwarf cannon, these field trebuchets, and then Surreal's cannon perched on this hill over here. So yeah, I am going to be marching down. And Surreal's army, I don't know why he did this. He said he was moving to me, or moving off the hill, but he's going to move down and then all the way over? Or does he doesn't, maybe he even moves all the way back around. It takes him a while. He doesn't just march straight down the hill, which I thought was funny, because this battle I'm sitting over here like this, and he was like, alright, I'm coming to you. I'm like, okay. And I was like, man, you're still not here yet. Anyway, we get there in a little bit. So these rifles start shooting at my outriders. I'm trying to take out this cannon crew early on in the game so that they don't rack up any kills. We have our Empire Knights pretty close by. Karl Franz is close by as well. I'm doing what I can to try and shoot them down, but they are being covered by these rifles. So thinking that they were focusing on these outriders, I just issued a charge command for the Imperial Knights, but they are going to get shot at by these riflemen. They do have a shield, which gives them a block chance, but this is still not the best of moves to do. But we are going to get in there. Meanwhile, the Trollhammer torpedoes are raining down on our knights. Karl Franz is still coming up. Again, I'm just trying to take out this cannon real quick and get out, but we did take a lot of losses here. We got it, though. We took a lot of fire to do it. My demigryph knights at this point are being moved out of the forest. Where are they? There they are, right there. And they're going to be joining their emperor. And then Surreal... Oh, we also get a charge on these Bretonnian peasants, though, which is pretty good. They came way, way too far outside the protection of their men-at-arms, so we just got a charge right into them. And then Surreal's forces, where are they? Yeah, so... I don't know why he did this. So he was marching down, and then he marched all the way back up. He's going to march all the way over, march down, and then down like here. I don't know why. I'm going to have to ask him later. Because again, I'm sitting right here fighting these people and fighting the Bretonnians, not paying attention to what he was doing. And then I remember looking back, I'm like, what are you doing back at the spawn? Anyway. Oh, Surreal. So my forces here are engaged now against some Grail Knights and Demigryph Knights with halberds. So we did get a charge off on each other, which is why we've taken some damage here. We have some Longbeards coming in with great weapons. In this engagement, the Grail Knights are going to lose. 100%. The Demigryph with halberds are just better against Grail Knights than Grail Knights are against the Demigryph Knights. Even with great weapon Longbeards coming in, I wasn't really scared of losing this battle against Grey Knights. I do have my outriders over here shooting into the dwarven lines there. Our spear line is marching up. Our 2 Imperial Knights are trying to wrap up those Bretonnian peasants, but they are getting shot up. The Manticore that I summoned is going into this Rifleman, or Thunderer group to try and make sure that they're not firing at me, while our crossbows are trying to take out the other Riflemen that are kind of bunched up currently. And you can see we are pushing back those Grail Knights. We have taken some damage, though, with the Demigryph Knights. That is certain, with all those units over there. Surreal's army still marching down the hill. His Manticores, though, this entire time have been chasing the King, and they were in a brief engagement, I think, with my Knights, which is why they're so damaged already and getting shot by the cannon from Surreal. So these Manticores are going to be chasing this King for basically the rest of the map. Basically. You see more shots going off from our Outriders. I had to pull out my Demigryph Knights because they were routing. We got a Flock of Doom from the Amber Wizard being cast on those great weapon warriors. Our spear line clashed with some hammerers, and you can see that our spear line does not last long against hammerers, to be expected. I do have some of my heroes here, my warrior priest and Imperial Knight, holding off a great weapon crew that was going after our crossbows. You can see the Manticore still chasing the King. My Imperial Knights are going to be routing up here on the hill. I'll have to get to them later. These Riflemen are getting a lot of shots on my Manticore, forcing them to rout. The Emperor and my Demigryph Knights are going to try and finish off the Grail Knight group before they realize that they can't bait from routing. Trying to run away from these hammerers. They were getting really too close to those Outriders. Meanwhile, the crossbowmen are getting some more fire into these rifles, as our two heroes hold off these great weapon Longbeards. And surprisingly, these spears actually held a long time. Considering they were fighting Longbeards and Hammerers, they held off a long time. These Longbeards are going to be charging an Amber Wizard. Meanwhile, status up there on the King, still being chased by Manticores. So they're going to be fighting for a while. Demigryph Knights and the Emperor, after routing those Grail Knights again, are going into these Troll Hammer because I want to shut them down, because they've been just kind of raining fiery death upon me. At this point, Surreal's army, his Halberdiers, are going to be going over to meet the Bretonnian. The field trebuchets here have been continually pounded by the cannon, and my Knights are going to come back from routing, and I'm going to send them down to take out the field trebuchets as well. We also have the Demigryph Knights just came in here into the backfield to try and rout the rest of the Bretonnian cav. So you can see these two Knights of the Realm are currently engaged with these two Demigryph Knights with halberds, while the other two Knights are going to be coming down the hill and trying to rout these Thunderers. And I believe the other Grail Knight group, because the Bretonnian player had two, I believe they died back here in the forest already to the amount of Demigryph Knights here. That may be the rest of them right there. So yeah, 4 Demigryph Knights with halberds. Bretonnia doesn't have much of a chance with their Grail Knights. Status update on the King. Still being chased. Meanwhile, Boris Todbringer and his heroes have joined my heroes in trying to take out this Greatbeard group. We have the Halberdiers on Men-at-Arms action over here on the right flank. We have Ungrim going over there to try and assist their Bretonnian ally. The Demigryph Knights came charging down the hill into these Thunderers and this cannon, so they're going to do really good. Meanwhile, the other two Demigryph Knights are just trying to run away from those Man-at-Arms groups. Over here, the Surreal's Manticore is trying to finish off these Trollhammer Drakes, while I was trying to get shots into them with our Outriders, but they're continuing being chased off by the Greatbeards. Or Longbeards with great weapons, or Greatbeards for short, yeah. My Halberdiers have finally came off the hill, and we are now engaging against the Hammers, trying to hold them in place so that we can shoot freely with our crossbows into other groups. You can see we're getting some side shots at this Hammer over here. The Hammerers at this point are some of the most elite forces left in the battlefield, so I want to make sure that we try and kill them. And meanwhile, me and Surreal's heroes are all over here. Buffs are being dropped. You can see Stand Your Ground, Wiston's Wild Form from our Amber Wizard, my Shield of Faith from the Warrior Priest, all being dropped in this great area. That's going to help us a lot deal with the Hammerers. Status update on the King. Finally, some Peasant Bows were able to bring down this Feral Manticore, so the King is no longer being chased by him. And I think the other Manticore was also shot down at this point. So there we go. The King is no longer currently being chased. Over here, the Halberdier line is doing pretty good against the Man-at-Arms, but they do outnumber them. The thing is, though, Ungrim Ironfist is back here just causing a ruckus back here in the Halberdier line. My crossbows are still able to just maintain their fire on these hammers, which is starting to add up some damage along with this Manticore and all of our heroes nearby. Demigryph Knights into these Longbeards with great weapons while my Outriders are continuing shooting them. I'm sending the Empire in to assist Surreal's Demigryph Knights over here. Another group of Demigryph Knights are over here dealing with Man-at-Arms and the remaining Knights of the Realm. You have more Men-at-Arms piling in, but they are going to try to withdraw from this fight, which is a good call on Surreal's part. You can see the Thunderers are now routing. Here comes another Manticore. I guess they didn't kill both of them. I thought they did at this point, but this Manticore is going to be chasing the King, Lou, and the Uncur. Here come my two Empire Knights from the beginning of the game. They were just sitting up here routed for most of this part so far. But I finally realized they were back, and I sent them into these field trebuchet crews. So that's what they're going to be doing. Meanwhile, this flank is still fighting each other. Just polearm on polearm, sweet action. You see my crossbows getting into these Knights of the Realm that were chasing Surreal's Demigryph Knights. The Men-at-Arms that were also chasing the Demigryph Knights are now in the field, and we're going to move our Halberdiers with our heroes in to meet them. I believe I moved my Warrior Priest in as well. My Outriders got caught by the Knights of the Realm over there, so they're currently getting killed by those. You can see we have a Shield of Faith and Wisdom's Wild Form from my Amber Wizard being cast on our Halberdiers to make sure that we win this fight. And here comes an Imperial Captain. I love the AoE spells of the Warrior Priest. Meanwhile, my crossbow is still just able to maintain their fire, and they're going to do a lot of damage to the Men-at-Arms. My Empire, or Emperor and the Demigryph Knights who've taken a beating are still there. And they are taking out this other cannon crew over here. My two Knights of the Realm, I think, are getting routed again at this point because of the Men-at-Arms, and I think the King charged them as well. This Manticore is caught up and is now in battle with the King once again. He was almost dead. An epic fight, to be sure. You can see the King is starting to rout, and the King has shattered. But is going to die anyway. He was chased the entire battle, and when he falls, that signals a chain rout for the entire enemy force except for Ungrim, because he's Ungrim, and that dude just never wants to leave the battlefield. So now we just got to focus him down, and that's going to be the battle. So this flank was held off by Surreal's Men-at-Arms, or Surreal's Halberdiers, for the most of the battle. From the time that he actually arrived at the battlefield, which was a little late. But from then on, he was able to hold off this right flank of Men-at-Arms. For the rest of the fight, including Ungrim Iron Fist, his attention was on these Halberdiers instead of dealing with like our heroes, so that was pretty good. The Demigryph Knights, they came in charging from the side and just rampaged through Grail Knights, Knights of the Realm, and they came down here to help me with the Dwarves, so, man, it was a really good charge for those Demigryph Knights with halberds. They are still a very strong unit. And here we are, crossbow's just going to fire at Ungrim. We can fast forward this part. And they're going to leave the game, I believe. There we go. So good game to my opponents and to Surreal. Even though he was late, he still assisted greatly. So looking at our kills here, the heroes got an okay amount of kills. Karl Franz and his Demigryph Knight unit, they got a lot of kills. Outriders 36, not that great. They were being chased through a lot of that battle, and I was forced to micromanage them away from it a lot of the time. Our crossbowmen got kind of dealt a heavy blow in the beginning, but still managed to pull out some kills. Halberdiers are pretty good. Spearline instantly melted for the most part against the hammers and the great weapons. Empire Knights, even though they got shot up, they still got a decent amount of kills. They got a lot of kills on the cannon crews, field trebuchets. They got some against the riflemen, and especially a lot on the peasant bowmen of the Bretonnians. So we were able to shut them down pretty early. Well, at least deal massive amount of damage. So I'm so proud of the Empire Knights. And 60 kills from the Great Cannon. For Surreal, Demigryph Knights did really well. Huh. Weird how they did really well. Cannon did really well. The hero crew, which they were all moving together, Boris, the two Amber Wizards, and the Empire Captain, they all did really well. They joined most of my heroes there, as you saw, and it was just a hero fest of death. The Halberdiers did pretty good against the Men-at-Arms, and yeah, there wasn't too much to the army other than Halberdiers and the hero crew, and then the Demigryph Knights. They all did pretty well. For Private Pile here, Ungrim netting 100 kills against those Halberdiers. The great weapons did okay, some of them. The hammers did great at killing some spears and some Halberdiers before they were shut down by a lot of different things. The Thunderers, they managed to net some kills before we managed to finish them off. And then the Troll Hammer with Iron Drake with torpedoes, they did okay. They got some shots in on Demigryph Knights before they were routed. And then I think the cannons did pretty good. For the Bretonnian, the Peasant Bowmen, even though we dealt a heavy blow of amount of damage to them early on, they still netted some kills. The knights, though, all of these knights, one of them went against my Demigryph Knights with halberds, and then the other Grail Knights and the Knights of the Realm went against Surreal's Demigryph Knights with halberds, so they had no chance. That's why they have, like, 0 kills here. 0 kills here. They just had no chance against Demigryph Knights. It's... In that situation, you have to try and make sure that the Demigryph Knights are engaged, probably against your men-at-arms, if possible. You need to just run away. You can't go head on in that situation. If you do, throw a Knight of the Realm into the pile of Demigryph Knights, and then you got to make sure that you have men-at-arms nearby so you can surround them and kill them. But unfortunately, that didn't happen for this player, so his Knights got crushed. The Field Trebuchets got a decent amount of kills. Field Trebuchets. And the Men-at-Arms did okay. The poor King was chased off the entire battle, so he did not have much of a chance to do anything. So that's the battle, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you all next time. It was cool to see Boris. Which means I have to actually play the Kazarak what is it, One Eye campaign that they released? I'm going to have to actually play that to unlock Boris Topbringer. I didn't really want to play that, but I guess I'm going to have to. Anyway, everybody, have a good day. Thanks for watching.